everyone. Uh, I don't know how many of you have seen RRR. I can see some familiar faces who have already seen it, but I guess there are new people too who are watching it for the first time. I don't want to give you a long prologue of what the film is. I want you to experience it as it is shown. Just a few lines though. The film is, even though the characters are real, even though the premise is a fact that British ruled India for 90 years, and there were many freedom fighters who fought for the freedom of the country. And the two characters, Allur Sitaramraju and Kumram Bhim, are real people, except for except for that part. The rest, entire story is fictional, completely fictional. The spirit of the characters is real though. I wanted to tell a story of friendship, so that's how I want you to watch the film. It's essentially a story of two friends whose paths are going to cross each other, but how they overcome and get along is the story is what the story is all about. As a film, probably you have seen, some of you might have seen some Indian movies where there is songs and fights in between the movie. You will see them here too. But the difference is this is not a Bollywood movie. This is a Telugu film from the south of India, where I come from. But I use the song to progress the film forward, to move the story forward, rather than stopping the film and giving you a piece of music or dance. I use those elements to move the story forward. Hope you feel the same at the end of it. Yeah, and last one, the film is 3 hours long. I heard they're giving a 10-minute interval, but no popcorn. Sorry for that. But if at the end of the film, if you say, I didn't feel it like 3 hours, then I know that I'm a successful filmmaker. The way I want to make my films is to give the audience a maximalist entertainment. There is nothing subtle about the film. I mean, subtle in the sense I want the audience's reaction toward the film to be maximalist. If it is anger, I want you to feel anger. If it is joy, I want you to feel full joy. If it is sadness, I want you to cry, not just shed a tear. So that's how I intend to make the film. Hope you feel the same. At the end of it, I'll be back with my actors and I'll take whatever questions from you. Thanks for coming. Hope you'll have a good time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes! Well, congratulations on your Golden Globe nominations for Best International Film and Best Song, and for all the Critics Group's awards. It's so exciting.
Thank you so much.
I know you've probably been asked this a lot, but for you and also for NTR, did you have any inkling when you were making this film that it would have the potential to become such a huge phenomenon? Or were you just having fun making a movie, making an amazing movie?
Actually, I never got to ask this question to him. Definitely, I expected...
It wasn't fun for sure.
We'll get into that.
I expected a reception, this kind of good reception from Indians in India and across the globe, Indians across the globe, because it is for them that I made the film. But from the West, never in my wildest dreams did I anticipate the kind of reception. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine that I would come, stand here in front of the screen in Directors Guild and get a reception like this. I never but I don't know. Even I didn't get to know from him. Did he expect this kind of reception from outside? outside Indians?
Well, definitely not. I think, I was, it's kind of very emotional for me. LA has been a holiday spot. America has been a holiday spot. It was a nation where I would come and visit my family. But today, sitting in LA, well, I'm a little emotional here. So, but I've been in the industry for 20 years, and it's the first time I think I'm in America talking about work. And this achievement is only because of my directors, great directors I've worked with, and my only guiding soul, Rajamouli. And I really feel that I've achieved something.
Right.
And West has, we come from Rajamouli said it many times, we come from a very small industry called the Telugu film industry. And thanks to him, it's not small anymore. I think Rajamouli is one such director who's united us. We were aliens, we're not aliens anymore. We're all one big global film industry. And thank you so much for this response for RRR. We're truly indebted. Thank you.
Well, we were talking a little bit before, talking about this journey for you. Your first film was with NTR, and you were 18. It was your second film.
Yes, I'm a senior compared to
Oh, yeah. Got more experience on him, yes.
No, experience is what he said. He's got that experience. But I'm just older in films. That's
Okay.
about it.
So, what was it like coming back? Had you worked together again? You'd done 4 films together, but, having this long-standing, since you were 18 years old, since your first film, like this long-standing working relationship, can you talk a little bit about that journey or how things have changed or how things have stayed the same?
Well, there's only one thing that stayed the same, is his torture,
Okay.
his demand, his mentalness as a filmmaker. But the only thing that has changed is that he doesn't belong to us anymore.
No.
He is not the country's pride anymore. He's a global pride.
Yes, that's true.
I've said this, and I'm really sorry if I'm overdoing this or oversaying this. But I've always said, I've always, there were times when both of us would just sit. Trust me, we were nobodies. Though we come from families which have been in the industry, into the business for a very long time, we were nobodies. And when we would sit in a room together, because we were given a room to share, we didn't have the luxury of having a separate room for the director and for the actor, We were staying in the same room in Switzerland, where I was, when I was unable to sleep because the sun would never set at 9 p.m. It was still bright. And both of us would just sit, and he would just narrate these stories to me. And I was like, waiting for Rajamouli to just explode onto the world. And that's what I said, when he won the NYCC Critics Award. I was like, you know what? I was waiting for this day. What I knew in these 20 years, I think it's time for the world to know. He's a phenomenal director. He tortures us a lot. And I think it's the duty of an actor to sit down here and believe in the captain of the ship. And he wants me to jump, I will jump. He wants me to crawl, I will. He wants me to take a beating, I will. But it's all this just feels like a deja vu to me. Yeah, because I knew this would happen.
Yes.
I was waiting for this to happen.
Yes.
And I'm sitting here today interacting with all you beautiful people. It's only because of it. I just want to, there are very few times I thank him. Or I think I would really want to thank you today. I want to thank you.
You can do it many more. I wouldn't complain.
So you've mentioned torture a couple of times.
Yes.
What was the hardest part?
Everything.
Okay. Was
You
there?
think it's not it's easy with this man here? He will
He's
kill
so
you.
nice.
No, he will beg, he will plead, he will bite if it's necessary. He will kill you for him to attain the perfection of what he wants. And what does he want? He is one of the very few directors who's got this talent of going up to the actor, the artist, and perform. You know, he's a great performer. I don't know how many have seen Bahubali. but there's a scene where he really performs. You know, he's a great actor himself. So he wants it. He will not settle for 90, 99, or 99.9. He wants 100. He'll be happy if you can give him 110. But he will use only that 100.
Well, you know, of all the amazing action in this film, you know, and really challenging acting, emotional scenes, I do think, for me, when I'm watching the film, I have to think that Natu Natu was the hardest physical task to perform. Can you talk a little bit about shooting that?
That was the icing on the cake.
Okay.
Because that was actually shot at the last leg of the shooting part. We were tortured for 65 nights.
65?
For the interval block. We were beating each other up, me and Sharon, we were killing each other almost. You know, we started with apologizing each other because Rajamouli really wanted us to hit each other. You know, he wanted the contact. It started with, you know what, I'm really sorry, Sharon, and Sharon was like apologizing. And then finally, I think by the 21st or the 22nd night, we stopped apologizing to each other. We were like, you know what, just let's get it done. Like, seriously. You know what, let's not waste time apologizing. We thought it's done. And that's when he brings this bazooka called Natu Natu.
Right.
I mean, see, we've done complicated steps. Natu Natu is not about the step being complicated as such. It was the synchronization aspect with Rajamouli which Rajamouli always stressed on. You know, his idea, if you actually see Natu Natu, I feel that there are very few songs which have an introduction, a middle, and an ending. Natu Natu is a story by itself in RRR. When two friends are too deep into each other, you don't need to look at each other. You just become one soul. You know what the other person is gonna do. You can predict what he's gonna do. You know when he's gonna lift his hand, you know when he's gonna shake his leg, you know when he's gonna groove or when he's gonna stretch his legs and go down, you know? So it's just his emotion. Correct me, I'm sorry. I'm getting into the story part. Well, this is what I've understood. Or you made me understand. So it's about two friends being in sync with each other. And when we were shooting for that song, you know, we shot that song for about 12 days. Thanks. Thanks to Ukraine.
Yes, it
The
was shot in
sun
Ukraine.
used to rise up at 6 and set at 9 in the night. So this man would torture us from 8 to 8, then get us back to the room, make us wear tees and tracks, make us rehearse for another 1 hour. We would probably sleep at 11:30, wake up at 5:30, and again run to shoot. And this happened after 7 days of rehearsals already. He was so hell-bent on the synchronization. He had this big monitor. It was almost that big, I think. He was just step freezing the shots, seeing if the legs went together, the hands were in the perfect sync. I was like, why? Like, Jesus, why? Why are you doing this? But, you know, I never understood why he's stressing on that synchronization so much. But when the promo of Natu Natu released, the first thing I saw on social media, the first reactions I saw on social media was like everybody were talking about that synchronization. And this, I think, after a very long time, Rajamouli actually shocked me. Because this person doesn't shock me anymore. You know, I know he's too predictable. He's too predictable for me.
Yeah.
But that's when I was shocked. And, you know, do you remember the call? I called him. And I was like, how? How do you do this? I mean, like, how do you know that people are going to stress on that? And then the only thing he does is smile. look at him. That's the only thing he does. He doesn't let us, he doesn't give us this trick of his, the trade secret, right? His formula of making successful films. Do you have one?
Not going to give it up.
So, in terms of Naatu Naatu, like when you were talking to Keeravani, your composer, were you telling him, I want a really catchy song, or it's going to be a dance that everybody's going to do? Like, what instruction were you giving to him about the song?
Obviously, we know that both of them are great dancers, and the requirement of the stories that they dance, and obviously the song has to be catchy. I don't need to tell him that. That's quite obvious. What we were discussing more is like.
How do we kill the heroes?
So, what is the lead that is coming up to that point?
Right.
What is the flow of the emotion that is coming up to that point, and how should it break open into the song? That's what we do for a majority of for the background score and the songs also. Discuss the emotion and what needs to be conveyed to the audience at that point of time. We discuss very little music actually.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, NTR, I love the scene where, it's obviously a very challenging scene to watch the flogging scene for Beam, but it's this beautiful moment where, you sing the song and sort of surrender, and it's this huge turning point in the film. Can you talk a little bit about shooting that scene? Especially, it's so complicated with, it's a turning point for Ram as well. But a little bit about like what you were kind of bringing to that emotion in that performance.
I would rate it as, I never said this on record, that I felt or I feel I'm a great actor. When the flogging scene was happening, as such, the hunter was actually not touching me. But I should preempt that the hunter is actually hitting me, and I have to give a reaction to it.
Without knowing that
the hunter is actually hitting me. So I don't know when it's hitting me, or when it's Sharon actually flogging it, or when is it, when it's going to actually touch me. But when I got done with that series of floggings, like about, I think it was 6 or 8 times, the only thing I was waiting to hear was a reaction from him. And Rajamouli just, in his mind, said, nice. That reaction of his just made me feel so happy. Because there's very rarely 4 films we've done together. I think you'd have said it twice. and there's just this, it just made me feel so good. The whole journey of the song of Komaram Bhim was a true depiction to the emotion of Rajamouli, what he's written as a character, for Bhim. And I would really rate it as one of the greatest experiences I've had in these 20 years of my acting journey. And it was never challenging, but it was always about just looking at him and seeing that happiness in him, that his actor has delivered what he expected his actor to deliver. And it's not only about the song, but RRR to me was another learning experience. Sometimes you just need to have this self-check, after like many years in the industry, after doing a lot of films. RRR is one such film. It probably made me, I would say it made me a better actor. And I don't know what's gonna happen, but yeah, let's see, hopefully.
So I know it's pretty rare to co-star in a huge blockbuster film, and you sort of had these 2 guys in mind for this project. So, I mean, what was it like working with both of them? You'd worked with both of them before, and then also NTR, what was it like working with Ram, who's a good friend of yours?
It was great. I mean, Charan and me are not aliens. We've been in the industry for a very long time, and I think the only reason why we were secure with each other is definitely we have the friendship aspect, but we have this person who knows how to handle our individual um, um, images. So we were in a nice, cozy, secure spot. We didn't have to worry about who's getting more screen space, who's taking the cake, or who's doing this, or who's. No, we know that Rajamouli is going to balance, not the stars, he's going to balance the story with two good friends being a part of it. So there was never a day where we were insecure, or I was ever insecure about it. So it was a great experience. It actually made us know more about each other, know how each actor works as such, how he works or how I work as an actor. It was like an exchange program. I think an actor, when he works with another actor is when he understands the nuances of making it better, of becoming a better actor. And I think RRR was that for us.
You're like, oh, you do that? Oh, I do this. Like, that's different.
It was not a competition. It was definitely not a competition, but
It was
yes.
a collaboration.
But yes, it was a collaboration, but there were times when we were like, okay, all right, you kill me here. All right, I'll wait for my opportunity. That was definitely there.
And what was it like for you directing these two?
He loved it.
Yeah. For me, like he was saying that I don't surprise him. Likewise, he doesn't surprise me. Like when I'm narrating him the story itself, I can see the gears in his brain getting into full speed. I can see how he's imagining the scene that I'm telling him. And when I'm placing my camera for him to perform something, I know exactly what he's going to do. And likewise, he also knows where I'm going to place, maybe not every shot, but he knows where I'm going to cut for the close-up, where I'm going to go for the wide shot. Because we are so much in sync. We have worked for 4 films together. My first film is with him. So
I think we should have done Natu together.
Not the dancing part, but yeah, the director and actor part, we are so much in sync. So it is a joy for me. I have said this before, and I can say that again. Like Komuram Bhimudu is the song the whipping song where he performed is the best thing that I have ever directed. Absolutely, it's my all-time favorite in all my films together, not just RRR. Because this guy is such a great performer. I mean, you place the camera only on one small eyebrow of him, and he can perform with the eyebrow. So I can say he's that good. And with Charan, it was different for me. I worked with him on Magadira. He did a great job with that film, but he was still raw at that time. He had bundle of energy, but he was still not there. But by the time he came to RRR, he developed so much. He developed a kind of a skill. Basically, even though he knows the story, even though he knows what we are shooting on that day, he would come with a completely clean slate of mind. He would come like a white paper and say, see, I know nothing. You draw, I'm a white paper, you are an artist, you draw whatever you want on me. He developed that ability, and so every time there was a surprise for me from Charan. There were times when he would do something that I didn't expect. Sometimes they were good, and sometimes they were not what I wanted, so I would ask him to do it again in a different way. But there were many times where I was really, really surprised by Charan. So that was a difference, and working with them together is a hell. I mean, they would create so much of nonsense on the set. They would be like kids making so much of mischief. My shooting would stall for so much of time when they're together.
That's why you shot for a whole year. Because
No, please, not because
I take that. Yeah, that's the reason.
How long did you shoot this film for?
Jokes apart, that's not the reason. We shot it for 320 days. Yeah, I know that's a long time. Even by
And that was not because of us. It was because of him.
that is because we don't have the second unit and third unit. I pretty much shoot everything. So we plan for one sequence, we shoot the whole sequence, and take a break from the shoot, not take a whole break from the shoot and prep for the next episode and shoot it. So it goes linearly. So that's the reason we need more time, and also the film is 3 hours long, not 2 hours 15 minutes or something, and we have songs which will take more time than the scenes. So that's the reason why we go for 320 days.
You know you're at the DGA when you say how many shooting days, 320, and the entire audience goes, oh! And just finally, NTR, I'm so curious, like, there, aside from the, you know, your big emotional song and scene, like, when you read the script, or maybe you saw some of the storyboards for some of these crazy action sequences, was there anything where you're like, yes, I'm so excited to do that? Like, throw a motorcycle at someone, or...
Yes, I was excited when he said that. You know, I was like, you know what? You just take this motorcycle and that's how you're swinging. And I was like, okay. I never asked him a question. It's like, how much does that weigh? How much do I weigh in the movie? Am I supposed to do that? Can I do that? Is that humanly possible?
It doesn't matter. It's
It's
emotional.
Rajamouli's hero. Everything or anything is possible. Right. But that was something which I was really excited about. And the best thing is, I think the shot where in the interval sequence where Beam jumps out with the animals.
Oh, that's my favorite part. That's my favorite part.
Can you believe it? Everybody loved it. And I didn't know I was actually, you know, that's the shot. That's how it's going to be. I just didn't know. He just told me. He never told me that you're going to jump out with all these animals. He never told me how it's going to be, how he's going to shoot. Nope, nothing. And I get to watch that when the movie released. In America, 4 hours prior it was released in India.
Oh my
I just
God.
saw it then. And I was like
First time
sitting in
you
the
saw it.
theater with my family, I was like, wow. Wow. So I mean, like, these were, you know, the motorcycle and obviously, you know, RRR, I think everybody here would agree, it's not about one episode, it's not about one shot. The whole movie was a great experience, I should say, as in, you know, for me as an actor, for him as a director, definitely, you know. It's just, I think if you don't feel the excitement, no one would.
Right.
Nobody would.
It's impossible
You know,
not to.
it's tough to translate it to the audiences, you know.
Yeah.
So everything about RRR was exciting.
Well, we're thrilled by RRR. I am so thrilled for you all and the accolades it's receiving, and thank you so much for being here and talking with us tonight, and thank you all for your amazing energy, and this has been a wonderful conversation, so thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.